following
you weren't
what
agreeing
he
with
wanted.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
because
agree with anything.
what he would do, he would say, he would make up lies. And I realized that this guy would lie to me, on me. Like, for instance, when he put the things out in the court, he said to me, now Ruth, as soon as I send these to you, I want you to send them out to everybody, because I would promote his site.
Right.
And I would send it out to like hundreds of news agencies and different people, to a list of people every time. So then he started saying, oh, you told him where my mother lived. I didn't even know where his mother lived. So it was like, you're lying, and you're lying to me, on me, and now you really got a psychological deranged mind to do this kind of thing. And that's when I really just started watching him, and decided I would just try back off and try to get help for the community through his blog if it was real. And when I tried to get the NAACP involved, he tried his best to break that relationship and keep them from coming in, doing the march, etc. And that's when I realized this guy is really not for us.
No.
So then in Colorado, I know you started to reaching out to me saying, Ruth, your life has been threatened. And then
Right,
when...
so I had to flee Colorado.
Right, because he threatened your life, right?
So
what did he say to you?
That very night when it all happened, I knew right then I couldn't wait till morning. I had to grab what I could get, which was my wallet with my ID on it, and that's it.
Wow.
I left. I was not able to leave. I had to sell my vehicle, wait for money to transfer so I could have travel back money. So it took about 14 days that I had to stay in the same town. I stayed at a hostel under supervision of some ladies to make sure I had all my screws and wits about me, because he had, made claim that I was suicidal, that I was deranged, that I was, could harm myself.
So he was doing whatever to get you apprehended.
Right, he
then.
just wanted me back. They had some confrontations back and forth, and she had to threaten to take matters to court to get to leave me alone. He did. The sheriff protected me, so I was fine.
Right.
But I did flee, and I left in secrecy. And
so this guy...
So after I returned is when I contacted you, and I got home safe.
Right.
I reached out to contact you, and we didn't contact or make contact right
for
away.
several months, because I was thinking that you were still with him, because he was publishing that he was with you. He was putting things out there like y'all were still together.
Right.
And I was saying, hey, this guy is dangerous. He's a killer, and I've been telling everyone to beware of him.
I believe, Ruth, he took me to Colorado to kill me.
Wow.
I believe I was never supposed to come back from Colorado.
Wow.
I believe I was just going to either be one of those, oops, I slipped off the mountain, or skiing or something, or maybe he had it even more planned that maybe I'd just be mentally incompetent and, put me in, because that's right where he went,
Exactly. That's one of his attempts to do things to people. Like with Jon Carroll, John Burt Carroll has documentation. He is an investigative journalist with documentation of the occurrences that he claims. And this man claims that they're conspiracy theories. He complains that I have conspiracy theories about these disappearing people and all of these deaths that are unfounded, and drug trafficking that he sits in. He told us about that for a long time at the library that day, right? And he told us about how Myron Thompson became a judge. He said that his uncle was a federal judge, had been a federal judge, and Myron Thompson had been placed there. He told us all about...
He has an inside clique. Now, who that person is, I don't know.
Well, if his father is DEA or DIA...
CIA.
Okay. CIA, DIA, whatever. Either way, it's Defense Intelligence or Central Intelligence. Then he has access to our records and all kinds of internal information. He hacks the computer. Every time we would have a march or something, he would call Facebook and get me taken down, and then start writing crazy stuff about, oh, they took her down for hate speech, because he has a way of contacting these people and making false claims and getting action. Yet when you and I both contacted Agent Lasky, that's the special agent in charge of the Mobile office. Once I reached back out to you and I found out what you had wanted, I called Lasky, because I said, hey, this guy's wanted for murder by Interpol. I already called Interpol and told him to come and get this fool. Get him out of our community. We don't need murderers walking around in our community pretending like the black people are having all these problems amongst themselves, when it's really this Caucasian killer who is protecting an underlying drug trade and murdering that's going on around here. And so you told me about his threat to have me murdered. And then when he did that, what did he tell you? He was in your face. What was his explanation? I mean, he's going to say that I can't publish something that's on YouTube? I mean, come on. That's all over YouTube. It's all over the internet.
He didn't care.
He lies about what his name is.
Yeah, he didn't care. He did not care. He just wanted you to stop, and he meant he was going to get you to stop, and it would take one phone call. He wasn't going to do it himself. He didn't have to. One phone call.
And so he had people in the area who could murder me.
Yes. Have you taken care of? Yeah, he didn't use the word murder. Have you taken care of? In one call. And he was serious. I believed he was serious.
And then what did he tell you? What did he tell you about yourself? He got in your face, and what did he do?
Yeah, basically with me, he just started, nobody would believe me, but I just sort of, I just shut down. Once that happened and I saw where it was going, in my mind, it just started.
All of those murders, all those dead people.
Started, yeah.
Because that's what I was writing about. I had written about how he is so close to all of these dead people. Nobody happens to be that close to that many dead people.
People that loved me prior to us getting married were like, Teresa, what if, and I had that feeling, but I just kept thinking, no, that's just too far-fetched. That is not real. It did not happen, but it was a gut feeling that, if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck.
It's a duck.
It's a duck.
Exactly.
And so that's, I was naive to that.
Yeah, what bothers me is that this guy is wandering around with the police, FBI, etc. Like he went out and he infiltrated the Ammon Bundy and Clive and Bundy camp. And for RT News, Russian television news, the same group that is now being testified about on Capitol Hill for putting out fake news. And this guy is a master of fake news. He creates the news and he's just literally obliterates it, screws it all up, lies about it, lies about the people in the write-up that he's done. And so I noticed that he was saying, oh, I was the only one who could get into that camp out there. Oh, he can get really close to people and pretend like he's their friend. And then the next thing I know, he says, oh, that guy was killed. Can you believe the FBI killed an innocent man? He was unarmed, on his way to church. And I'm thinking, how in the hell do you know all of this?
John knew because he had talked to Bundy the night prior to him being killed by the FBI. And I was privy to that conversation. I was there because John was trying to convince me to go back as a foreign journalist with him, that we would be cared for under, and they couldn't do anything.
Go back where?
That we would be foreign journalists with RT News, and we were going back up there prior to him being murdered, because it was going to be a standoff. I mean, it was going to get worse. And they were going to allow us to come into the camp. But once we were there, we were not going to be able to leave. And John was trying to convince me to go back with him. And so that night he talked with Bundy on the phone, and the next morning or the next day we saw everything on TV.
Did he tell the FBI where Bundy, did he talk to the FBI too?
I don't know anything other than I heard the conversation with Bundy, and the next day he was dead.
Wow.
And he did say his phone was being tapped. John kept saying, my phone's tapped, da-da-da-da-da. He would always say that, just be prepared that as if.
Right, but he immediately posted the video. Nobody gets those videos that fast from the FBI or CIA unless they are part of them. I can't order something and have a video of a man shot the next day.
Yeah,
and John was going, oh, it was a drone hit. I'm going, why does he know all this? So I was I started looking at all of these very in-depth, knowledgeable infiltration type behaviors that he had, and he just got a kick out of it. But one of his favorite lines that always got me was, they'll kill you for that. They'll kill you. Really? Who is they and why do they kill people? And then I looked at the fact that since he's been writing this blog, we've not been having any more murders around here.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very